wanted to say thanks for tuning in. I'm loving this season so far. I'm on episode 6 as I'm writing this, and I cannot wait to share everything I found to be great about these 5 episodes. As always, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and I hope you enjoy the video. I'm one of the many people who very much enjoyed the first OP for season 3, but I must say I enjoyed this one as well, since it felt like a return to form of what we saw in seasons 1 and 2, but musically and visually speaking, with that intense soundtrack and flashing images instead of a more relaxing feel from the first OP of the season. Leave it to Attack on Titan to nicely animate characters and horsey warsies walking, and also do a great job with the illumination from their lights. Oh, also, I absolutely friggin' love the idea of using the stones found in the cavern earlier in the season to create lamps. That's both clever to come up with and implement. Being smart and working in the notion of not saying Eren's name because it gives information to the enemy. I know we've seen this book before, but I'd love to see more of it. A book clearly written prior to the days of the city's formation. It's so clever having something like that. I enjoyed this moment. It was like the show reminding us of how long it's taken to get here and just how close they now are to where everything began. Even at this distance, the houses look worse for wear, ravaged by time away from humans caring for the buildings and Titans probably smashing into them as they walked through all those years ago. Views from above that take ages to make and almost always get a win. Never mentioned it before, but I also dig the idea they had to make houses spill onto the other side of the wall because there's no more room in the walled-in nearby city. It's the same thing to a degree that they used in The Witcher 3 with Novigrad, except that was more non-humans outside, but there was still poor people to be fair. Brilliant hand-drawn animation against a moving CGI backdrop. Once again, absolutely killing it with these beautiful edits. This seamless transition between the real world and then straight into their plan. Levi. Yet another one for a gorgeous ODM gear edit. Giving us an up-and-close look at how ravaged the city has been since humans were forced to flee. Multiple hand-drawn characters moving on screen while CGI characters run in the background really creates a great effect that's hardly noticeable. Armin continuing to use his intelligence just as he always has since season 1. Firstly, once again this looks brilliant. Secondly, his speech and the music in the background do a great job of building up excitement. Thirdly and lastly, the specifics of his speech nicely play into later events in my opinion, ruining his statement of everyone being special when almost everyone is wiped out in utter cold-blooded murder and devastation by the Beast Titan, which nicely plays into this continuing notion of Eren gaining personal strength only to have it knocked out of him time and time again because of the harsh reality of their world. This entire moment of plugging the wall. Also another win for them starting to give us a much greater idea of how a human controlling a Titan works over the next few episodes, as we see Eren must quickly detach himself at the perfect time to make a getaway when using his hardening ability. On top of this, I'll be pointing out what I believe is the anime showing us how someone appears to be when they've overused their Titan form later on, as we see their faces look scarred even outside of the Titan. Kawaii. Erwin and Armin are a real couple of people in the old brain game, eh? In terms of character building, they absolutely nail it with Armin constantly doubting himself between bouts of extreme ingenuity. Can't show it, but the moment that Reiner reveals himself is bloody brilliant. Reiner! In addition, once again I have to be careful of what I'm showing, but the moment Levi leaps into action against Reiner and attacks him is just outstanding. This moment had my wife and I freaking out from excitement. The transformation, the effects, the music. God damn, I love this anime. You know what? I think that this is one of those extremely rare moments where I offer up 2 wins, because not only was this moment beyond epic, but for anime only fans like myself, it came as a huge shock and surprise. Erwin's speech most definitely requires an additional last-minute win as well. I loved seeing this because it really started to show us a whole new side to the Titans in general. I can't express how many of these moments genuinely shocked and excited me. Beautiful use of CGI, I gotta say. You best damn well believe my wife and I were like, what the heck are thunder spears? And yeah, I love it because they didn't outright tell us and instead surprised us in a bit. This! Okay, I wondered about this and completely forgot they explained it, so take a win! I've said it since day one and I'll say it again, no other anime does as well as Attack on Titan when it comes to creating sequences that truly look like giants are plodding around a much smaller world. Man, this is just completely epic. We've been waiting for so long for part 2 of this inevitable battle, and now it's here. It did not disappoint. One extra for this hard punch, way harder than I expected it to be. They never cease to create Titans that are freaky as hell. Literally every season they've stepped it up a gear in different ways. Hats off to them. Cadet Erwin! This ends up becoming some outstanding all-rounded off-character arc for Erwin, as he mentally traverses all the decisions he's made since his childhood which led him to where he is today. But there's a much darker side that's not revealed until later about the sadness in him built upon by the decisions he's made and the sheer volume of people he's lost under his command. It's brilliant how they bring it full circle over the next few episodes. My word, just look at that. Whew, that, wow, look at it! Hot damn, that high level quality editing! I could just eat it up. I tell you what, for this, they can go ahead and take an extremely rare 2 wins again. That animation quality is absolutely beautiful. And once again, the missus and I had our jaws on the floor. Take another! I love it! Attack on Titan does some of the best twists and shock moments in all of anime. That... Totally forgot to mention the ED at the end of episode 1, but I like this one. It's very calming. It's like they switched what they had from the first half of season 3 with a calmer OP and more intense ED. It's a good song though, and the visuals are nice, focusing on their past mainly as cadets training. It's like they're using multiple methods to remind us how everything is coming full circle story-wise and perhaps to an end somewhat.
俺の巨人ってなんだよ、ライナー。
I honestly cannot recall if they showed this in an OVA or not. I know I've seen it before, but it may have been spoiled a bit and then I looked into it from the manga perhaps, but I'll give a win in case I'm incorrect and this is the first they've shown on it. One of the biggest secrets of the first season.
アリ、マルコの立体起動装置を外せ。
I love how they gave them all distinctly human elements, how they grieve doing the things they have to do, how they feel remorse and empathy and pain. They're not just some cold-blooded murderers in that regard. That thus makes it so much clearer when their former allies have such a hard time taking them down and such. Also giving Reiner what I assume is a form of PTSD is also excellent, as we see soon.
やめろ、アリ、やめてくれよ。なんでだよ、アリ。
This is something I actually forgot about, and once again does lend itself to proving how human they were, especially when acting human with everyone for long periods of time.
まだちゃんと話し合ってないじゃないか。
I don't know, I've not dealt with many people on their deathbeds, but it feels like talking nonsense like this would probably be something someone would do. Hey Anime Wins, why are you talking about not dealing with many people on their deathbeds? That's weird. Yeah, well I was a prison officer for 11 years, young blood, and sadly dealt with many deaths and near deaths and stuff, so there's your answer to your question you didn't ask, homeboy!
マルコが食われてる。
The PTSD shizzle dizzle I mentioned previously. That.
じゃあな、頼んだぞ、相棒。任せろ。
Getting to see moments like these of the enemies, some of the worst in the entire anime being displayed as human, with flaws and feelings. It's a beautiful technique when character building enemies that, when done perfectly, spits out characters and their arcs like Erwin from Hunter x Hunter, arguably one of the greatest villains of all time.
今まで散々手こずらせやがって。ざまねえな、悪党め。
Seeing these two like this, again showing feelings towards the falsely downed Reiner. Some might criticise their actions here, but I praise it. You gotta show empathy for them, be in their shoes of training and living alongside Reiner for years, eating together, laughing together and working together. If anything, it would be highly unrealistic if they were nothing but cold-blooded. Hell, even Jean is shown to stumble on his cold words. It's brilliant writing and voice acting. This was always going to get a win, wasn't it? I missed this first time around because I didn't pause it, but this time I read it for this video, and now you can too. But to save you time, it says there's evidence to suggest an outside culture drinking luxury stuff. How cool is that?
何にせよ、我々の作戦目標が目の前に飛び込んできたんだ。
I'll never get bored of seeing people chilling out in Aaron's Titan form.
君たちを前にした途端にまた泣き言を繰り出し許しを請うんじゃないかってね。
Just like with the others whom I've pointed out, this episode does wonders to finalise the character building of Bertolt, who goes from mild and meek to murderer in an instance, begging for forgiveness when he's cornered by his former allies, and then to stone cold killer, more effective in his mission than even Reiner at the very end. Whilst I did sin this little exchange on the corresponding sins version, it still looked great.
だって世界はこんなにも残酷じゃないか。
Absolutely goddamn stunning sequence! Justifying Reiner's earlier statement of him being the one with the greatest Titan power. Wow! Seeing how Erwin and Titanform can interact with people, one holding on via a rope and him holding the others. Don't even know why, but I love that! Most people hate CGI. I'm not the greatest fan of it myself. Berserk 2016 can flip off with extreme prejudice, but this here, covered in smoke, flying debris, it looks nice.
さあどうする？獣の巨人。
I wonder if anyone has made the observation that these two are like two people playing chess at this stage, covered by pawns and other high-ranking units like Reiner and Levi on the other side, as each side attempts to lay waste to the other. Interesting. One of the very best examples of building a truly realistic set piece of giants in a normal sized world. This looks outstanding to represent that to us, the viewer. Connie dropping mad puns at a wild time.
さっきだってベルトルトの読みを外してこのザマだ。じゃん、君の方が向いてる。
Armin not only having the understanding to realize he can't handle the situation, but also furthermore passing it on to Jean temporarily so they can use his abilities to help out right then and there.
川だ、川に移動するぞ。全員エレンに乗れ。ガスを接積しろ。
Moving towards the river is clever, but even more so is using Erwin to conserve gas. I friggin' love that.
俺も早くそっちに。
One of the best worst moments of the new season. We see Levi pondering to himself, content to rely on his allies as the Beast Titan goes into action in such an absolutely spectacular looking fashion. It's built wonderfully, looks fantastic as we see the red clouds form alongside the debris. Can't tell you how much I like this moment, and not just for its shock value. I'm being careful how much I'm showing, but yeah, goodness me, even on the second throw it causes utter devastation, and in some ways it's worse than the first as even Levi feels helpless stuck between buildings.
状況は
最悪だ。奴の投石で前方の家はあらかた消し飛んだ。
Gotta love how calm Erwin remained at a time like this. It's like he saw absolutely no sense in panic and worry like a true leader. Complete pair of badasses not moving a muscle while death flies their way. I was genuinely shocked and taken aback by just how small Erwin was in his Titan form against the massive colossal Titan, even after seeing the graph over the break back in season 1 or 2.
だからってこのままおとなしく皆殺しにされてたまるか。攻撃を仕掛けるぞ。
Jean has a perfect voice actor. Hell, they're all amazing. It's crazy to me how well they all suit their characters. It's the same for My Hero Academia to me. This attack and the resulting result of said attack. I mean, how cool does Mikasa look as the thunder spears explode behind her? This damn shock and surprise, my word, I love this anime!
でもまさかそうやって死んでいくことがこんなに何の意味もないことだなんて思いもしなかったんだ。
The reality of war in general expressed by a single soldier but speaking that which many of them would be thinking.
すでに状況はそういう段階にあると思わないか。大敗北だ。正直言って。
I don't know if this track has been used before now, but it's amazing. If anyone knows the track name, hit those comments for me and I'll give you a heart icon.
私の命を捧げればな。
Realistically now, multiple soldiers have begun to lose hope and are starting to lose their heads to a degree.
このまま地下室に行きたい。俺が今までやってこれたのも、いつかこんな日が来ると思ってたからだ。
A rare moment of completely laid bare honesty from Erwin that's from the heart.
仲間たちは俺らを見ている。捧げた心臓がどうなったか知りたいんだ。まだ戦いは終わってないからな。
This moment is most excellent, as it nicely builds upon both his and Levi's big decision in a few episodes' time, but I'll save that for the next video, of course. Also, getting to see all of these people from season 1 and 2 was amazing to me. I loved how I was able to recognize all of them so easily, and it put into perspective just how many people died to get them to this point.
夢を諦めて死んでくれ。新兵たちを地獄に導け。獣の巨人は俺が仕留める。
God damn, this is so intense. I love it. The start of this charge and the people essentially just screaming. This beautifully edited moment of courage and dedication. For all of Erwin's speech. I can't show it, but everyone being hit by the attack from the Beast Titan is gut-wrenching, including having to see the seemingly invincible Erwin get hit.
年寄りから子供まで特攻させるんだろうな。どうせ誇り高き氏がどうとか言い出すぞ。ふざけやがって。
Okay, so there's clearly more to this moment than meets the eye. It's like the idea of this long-raging war, the king who stole people's memories, and humanity being forced to throw themselves at Titans as cannon fodder truly made him more angry than we've seen before now.
何マジになってんだよ。お前は父親とは違うだろ。
Foreshadowing in the best way, like an absolute beast, Titan. See what I did there?
これが死か。ヒッチは今頃何を。いや、あいつはまだ寝てるか。あ、いいな。
Seeing this poor guy who we've known since season 1, but not in a huge way, an incredibly proud man who always tries to do his best, to do more for humanity than sit behind the cozy inner walls get killed is hard to see. On top of this, his final thoughts bear an incredible resemblance to people facing trauma, one that may end their lives, and in his case does end his life. How do I know this? Dealt with multiple riots in the prison service against prisoners armed with multiple weapons. But we're not here to talk about that. These final brave souls, knowing that death has come for all of their comrades, still continue to bravely charge their foe, all in the understanding that they will indeed die, but before that, they must keep his attention on themselves and not on the approaching Levi. For the start of something amazing. The first attack, turning the Beast Titan into sushi, and his utter bewilderment at what just occurred. How beautifully they animated this glorious moment of sheer god mode badassery, cutting the ankles and showing the Titan fall to the ground with a thud rattling his face. For this final moment of Levi showing off his incredible speed and precision as he deals the final blows against this Titan, removing him from inside of it. It's one of the greatest moments of the entire anime for me. It rivals Annie versus Levi as well. They can take 2 for this all day long, and please keep in mind that's the max I ever give for a single moment.
おい、返事しろよ。失礼なやつだな。
That. This scene no doubt catching everyone by surprise in a shocking twist. If you didn't know Levi any better, you'd rightly think that this moment would be the death of him, as it has been for so many others who make a single mistake against their clever Titan foes. Luckily, we know better. Then we all breathe easy as we see Levi continue to destroy Titan after Titan with ease, even after fighting non-stop all of this time. Dude's such a damn expert at using his resources.
僕はなぜか外の世界のことを考えると勇気が湧いてくるんだ。
This music never ceases to get to me. It's very inspirational sounding, works great with speeches, and Armin's here is no exception. I love Mikasa, and then the next moment was bloody epic as well.
状況がわからない。力もあまり残ってない。
Rein ew. All jokes aside, this is what I was referring to earlier on when I mentioned how they showed us for the first time how someone appears when they've potentially spent too long inside of a Titan or maybe taken too much damage. If not, I'm not sure what causes them to appear this way.
正直言えば、みんなまとめて吹き飛んで欲しかった。
Also, this further seems to back up my theory. Let me know your thoughts down below though.
アルミン、お前、まさか。
Getting this view for the first time, I believe, giving us an understanding how it looks from the inside out. That's voice acting. Whoa!
ことじゃ。
The plan failing to go exactly as planned and thus subverting our expectations once again.
息がこれ以上はもういやまだだ。
This scene leading to one of the most horrid visuals I've seen in anime, rivaling the 1997 Berserk view of Griffith near the end. If you've seen it, you know what I mean.
エレンに託すんだ。僕の夢、命、すべて。僕が捨てられるものなんて。
Luckily, I think I can show this, but just how awful is it? Also, I think Bertolt saying he will end it for him quickly goes back to what I said before about those lingering human emotions still in them as they fail at being 100% cold-hearted warriors.
海を見てくれる。
Man, that's so awful, but also so beautiful and well done. Hats off to them. They can take 2 for this as well. And again, if anyone knows this particular track name, I'd be much obliged to know it in those comments. For the legendary return of Hanji, one of my favourite non-main characters.
ライナー、出て。
Mikasa being Mikasa and blowing Reiner the heck out of his titan like a bounce! Eren finally taking down the Colossal Titan for the first time ever and pulling his ass out!
僕は負けてないよ。僕は逃げてない。
分かってた。お前が誰よりも。
I like this. It speaks volumes about Armin's character, and then they hit us hard from the visual of child Armin to what's left over from him being burnt. Man, it's tough to see. Armin went from being a pretty weak character with a brain to doing one of the most brave and honourable things ever in the anime, giving his life to achieve a military goal and to hopefully give humans an edge in their great battle. Armin almost died like a hero, regardless of what happens in the next episode. That's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button and leave a comment. You can also follow me on Twitter at TheHonestGamer, support what I do on Patreon. Links are all down below, and I hope to see you in the next video covering the final 5 episodes of this season. Nathan Burr, The Ortho, Josiah May, Bird Without a Word, Arias Alibari, PK Fan, Chef Kilo, Moritz, BZX001, Yona Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Manuel Morales, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Sentimento, Silva, Morgan Vargas, Master Tank, Brendan Krier, Kyle Farmer, Theodore Quackens, Kaj Vorzelman, Jordan Samuels, Gabby Z.